Hey everybody, Rich lying down in the bunker at Prep U, coming at you with another video. This one is, of course you already know it, but Illinois concealed carry laws, FOID, and red flag laws, update number 4. We've got a few things to talk about here. I'm going to try to condense this as much as I can. What we're going to talk about is the Supreme Court case in Illinois about FOID cards. We're going to talk about FOID legislation for Senate Bill 1966 and what to do if your FOID card gets canceled. We're going to talk a little bit about red flag laws, although we're not going to go into the red flag laws. We're just going to talk about what you should do to prepare if it happens. Federal background checks and red flag laws are in the news. We're going to talk about that, and a quick update on the Illinois Gun Dealers Licensing Act. We're going to talk about real quick. So let's get started. Keep this video as short as possible. All right, first thing, Supreme Court case. I had originally said nothing was new until I went to the Supreme Court website, which I suggest all of you do. And we all know, number one, the appellate court basically said that the FOID card was unconstitutional, so the state of Illinois brought it forward and took it to the Supreme Court. The case was accepted, though filed late, and then as of 7/30/2019, both parties had submitted their briefs, both the appellate and the appellee, and the state submitted a reply brief. And supposedly the court will hear this case in September. Like I said, I suggest you guys go to the Supreme Court website or Illinois Courts website. What you're going to be looking for is specifically this. This is briefs for cases set for oral arguments during September 2019 term. This page is going to look like this. There's several pages of it. But right here, there is she, right there. People in the state of Illinois, appellate versus Vivian Brown. All right. So it's kind of got a list of when the briefs were filed, and you can click on them and you can get a copy. The one that I was most interested in was the reply brief of plaintiff applicant, or appellant, sorry, people of the state of Illinois. And this is what it looks like. All right. And it goes step by step. In this one, you can see that it just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's the state kind of countering what the appellant, Vivian Brown, and her attorney are claiming. So that's kind of goes click by click on everything that they're saying. So definitely suggest you take a look at it. All right, that's the Supreme Court case. FOID legislation, Senate Bill 1966. We know that the legislature is in summer recess. They come back in October through November. You know, maybe I should have been a politician. It's better hours than being a fireman or teacher. So anyhow, we know that Senate Bill 1966 was held currently in the Senate. And we talked about why. I found this out. So why did Senator Cullerton do that? Well, we talked about this before. Downstate senators are worried about re-election in 2020. So the Democratic senators down in central and southern Illinois, they don't want to go on record as voting for this act, which a lot of other people don't want. As well as Chicago area senators got a lot of pushback from their constituents. They got pressure regarding the costs and citizens being threatened like criminals. It did not want to go on record as a no vote, or they didn't want to put a no vote in. They want to vote yes. So be prepared for this. Like I said, it's the election results, call from constituents, and they don't want to vote on this till after the election. Of course, after the election, you know what's going to happen. If they win, they're going to go after this legislation and pass it in the Senate. All right, federal background checks and red flag laws. There's a lot of talk about that. President Trump was talking about red flag laws and background checks. In Illinois, you already got them, dude. We had background checks. We had red flag laws. So those of you that have a FOID card, whether you know it or not, every day the court is in session, you're getting a background check. They're checking all the police reports. They're checking anything, whatever they do check. I'm sure there's even mental health submissions that they're checking. If you're a CCL carrier, guess what? You're getting 2 background checks every day that the court is in session. So Illinois already has that, so you're going to get that. Red flag laws, state of Illinois already has the red flag laws. I'm not getting in the red flag laws. I got a headache from doing the Supreme Court case, and I don't want to get like really ticked off with the red flag laws. Maybe one of these days we'll do red flag laws. All right. Next point, revocation of your FOID and your CCL. Basically losing your CCL. How does that happen? For various reasons. There could be something you did or a mistake or whatever, and you get a letter from the state police saying that your FOID card has been revoked, and in that letter it states that you should bring your FOID card to the state police and dispose of your weapons appropriately. What is appropriately? You can give them to the state police. Better than that, your other 2 options are either know somebody ahead of time, prep, that has a FOID card that you can give your firearms to, okay? Or move out of the state. Probably move out of the state wouldn't be a bad idea. You wouldn't have to worry about any of these, but watch what state you move to. Expect a visit from the state police down the road. If you turn in your FOID card, they are going to want to check to make sure that your safe is empty. And please, if you have firearms, I don't care if you have kids or not, you should have a safe and it should be locked up every day, other than the one that you want to keep by your bedside. And yes, a lot of people will say, well, where's the due process in this? Well, really, there really isn't. And I mean, there's a variety of things that it affects. I mean, the Second Amendment, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, and the Seventh. You go, really, all those? I said, well, basically, I mean, Second is bear arms. Fourth is search and seizure or warrants, probable cause. The Fifth Amendment is due process. Six is to know you're accused, because you're not going to know you're accused with that. And what was the 7th? Trial by jury. So you've already lost that stuff, and you haven't had any trial by jury already. So what I'm going to tell you to do is don't argue. If you haven't been smart enough to have it planned ahead to give your firearms to somebody else, give them to the state police. They're going to give you a record of what they took. Just do it. All right? Okay. Next point, red flag laws. Illinois and several other states already have red flag laws. I don't think the red flag laws that the federal government wants to push through are any worse than what Illinois' are. I've read them. I'm not getting into that right now. But what I want to get into is what should you do if all of a sudden they come and they want to confiscate your weapons? Well, chances are they aren't going to walk up and just confiscate your weapons, but a lot of times what they'll do is local police or state police will come forward and they'll have an exploratory question and answer period with you. They'll be real precise, they'll ask you questions and stuff like that. Be careful of your answers, you know, don't say, oh, that son of a gun down the street, I knew they called, you know, don't even do that. That's going to show reason for them to confiscate right then and there. Be cordial. Listen to what the state police say. Chances are that first time they're going to leave. If they come back and want to confiscate your weapons, because that's what they're doing, don't argue. Don't ask any questions. Don't ask who, what, where, why. Stay calm. Do exactly what they tell you to do. Give them all your firearms to them, because anything you do, they're going to write down. If you were calm and nice and cordial and stuff like that, it's going in the records, and it's going to go before the judge when they down the road. Of course, you're going to have to get an attorney. If you don't already have an attorney, get one. There's a lot of good ones out there. Let's see. So that's basically red flag laws. I mean, you can read them yourself. State of Illinois has them posted. Just comply. And if you know they're coming, again, give them to somebody else. Have a son or a daughter or a brother or a sister or mom and dad that also have a FOID that they can take them for you. But have a plan and prepare ahead of time. You know it's out there. You know that if it happens, it happens. And you're going to know if somebody down the street doesn't like you, and it's going to happen. All right, last point. Illinois Gun Dealer License Act. Every day I hear about more mom and pop gun dealers either locking their doors or moving out of the state of Illinois. There's going to be a ring of gun dealers around the state of Illinois, I swear, from everybody I'm hearing, and it's unfortunate that pretty soon all the mom and pop gun shops will be gone. It's probably what they want, and you're only going to have your big box stores, and they're going to get a lot of pressure. Also, although you're seeing some of the big box range and gun shops popping up all over the place more and more. So that's that. Some final thoughts. All right, FOID and CCL card deliveries are up to 150 days. So if you just recently ordered it, I take that back. Not FOID cards. FOID cards are still a month to 6 weeks. CCLs, they're either being swamped or they don't have the manpower or whatever. So expect a long delay. So make sure you file on time. Don't let them expire. And the reason I say that is, because I have a note down here, file on time equals keeping your firearm. Not filing on time may equal a visit from local law enforcement once the Illinois State Police contacts them. If you have a FOID card and you let it expire, State Police is going to call your local police and say, hey, so-and-so at such and such an address on such and such a street no longer has a FOID card, but they may have weapons. So the Illinois State Police or the local police are going to come and pay you a visit. And said you let your FOID card lapse in the state of Illinois, you may not possess any weapons in your home. If you have a CCL and you let your FOID card lapse, guess what happens to your CCL? It's null and void. So don't forget that. Don't wait. File ahead of time. All right? And I know a lot of people have said to me, yeah, but what about calling the Illinois State Police Firearms Service Bureau's customer service number? Good luck. They only have 12 people answering the phones, and they can't answer the phone that quickly, and people have a lot of questions, and I can't imagine that job, because I can't imagine the people, that are upset about their CCL or their FOID getting it in time aren't very cordial to the Illinois State Police, which again is not really a good idea because your phone call is recorded. So just, if you do, just take it easy, calm, relax, be good firearm owners. That's what you've got to do for all of us. Just wait and relax and you'll get it sooner or later. So that is the update that I brought to you, and then basically we went over, you know, the court case, the FOID legislation, revocation of your FOID or CCL, red flag laws, what to do, federal background checks and red flag laws from the federal government, of which Illinois already has, and the Gun Dealer Licensing Act. And a few final thoughts in there. So please relax, be calm, prepare. Prepare for anything that could happen. And it can be anything from you having an argument with a person down the street, or somebody on your block who is a true anti-Second Amendment person just happens to see you putting your firearm in the trunk of your car to go to the range. It doesn't take much with red flag laws, so be prepared and know what to do ahead of time. All right, that's about it for this video. As I always say, closing, please subscribe. Loving the subscribers. Thank you so much for everybody that's subscribed. I know we're not big hitters out there. I mean, we've got 95 subscribers, and I think that's awesome. I'd love to have 100. I'd love to have 1,000. But anyhow, and if everybody who looked at one of my my FOID CCL updates actually subscribed, I would have about 1,600 subscribers, which would be great. If you like the video, please like, please comment. If I made any mistakes in this video, please let me know so I can correct it. Check us out on Facebook. We try to put notifications forward of what videos are coming to you soon. That is it. Boy, my English teacher from high school would hate it because I say too much. So, for now, keep aware of your surroundings. Be prepared to be on your own for up to 72 hours, and prep like you and your family's life depends on it, because we all know that it really does. Thanks a lot. Be safe out there. Prepare.